Hello and welcome to Craig on Cars. Back in my first video, you can see that here, I was driving my Golf GTI, which I've owned now for nearly 3 years. And I thought it was about time that I shared with you the 5 things that I really love about this car. So the first thing that I really love about this car is it ticks all the boxes. On one hand, it's a sensible, practical family car. There's space for everyone, there's space for everything in the boot, and it's reasonably economical to run. This morning I filled the tank up from empty and it was just over 50 quid for just under 50 litres, and I'll probably get 350 to 370 miles out of that. But on the other hand, I love driving, I'm a petrol head and I want my car to be fun. So the GTI gives you that in spades. When you want to drive a little bit more enthusiastically, it delivers, and it definitely puts a smile on your face. The second thing I really love about this car is the styling, both the exterior and interior. On the exterior you've got more aggressive and sporty styling, I'd argue, than on the Golf R, which is more understated. And you want your hot hatch to be that little bit more flary, don't you? I really like the twin exhaust pipes, and on the front bumper you've got that red strip that goes from one side to the other through the headlights, and the black moulding around the fog lights, the front fogs, especially in the red that this car is, it really stands out. On the interior you've got the tartan trim, which I know isn't to everybody's taste, but I personally quite like it, and it does help brighten up the interior, especially with the red stitching on the steering wheel. I also really like the fun touch, like the golf ball gear knob, which of course is a retro nod back to the original Mark 1. So the next thing that I really like about this car is the infotainment and the technology that's built into it. It comes with Apple CarPlay built in, which for me as an Apple user is really useful. It has the digital dash in front of the steering wheel, this being a Mark 7.5 facelift car, and that provides you with all the various bits of data about the car. You can select between different views, and it has the sat nav there right in front of you, which is really handy. Let's talk a bit more about the handling. I already touched briefly on that earlier on in the video when I talked about the car ticking all the boxes, but I think it deserves its own little piece of the video. When conditions allow and you're in the car by yourself and you just want to drive that little bit more enthusiastically, you can pop the car into sport mode. The steering gets just that a bit more heavy and weighty, and boy does this thing just it goes round corners on rails. It has the limited slip differential, the electronic limited slip diff, which you can really feel when you're going around a tight corner, and you tuck it in the front end. You can just feel it keeping you tucked in. You can keep the power down. It's fabulous. I can really understand why an awful lot of car magazines use these as their camera cars. On the smaller twisty roads, it can really keep up with much more capable and exotic machines. So the final thing that I really love about this car is the heritage around the GTI badge. Okay, admittedly that's not something to do with this specific car, but hear me out. The GTI is what started mainstream hot hatchery back in the 70s, and it's something that other car manufacturers have tried to benchmark and emulate in the decades since. It was the first mainstream car that brought affordable, fun, sporty driving to the masses. Ever since I started driving, I'd aspired to own a GTI. Growing up, there were several GTIs in the family, Mark 1s and Mark 2s. And driving a GTI is just special. So there we have it, the 5 things that I really love about my car. If you'd like to see more content on this in the future, please do subscribe to the channel, and thank you to everybody that has done so far and liked and shared my videos. I was driving my it's not a 19 at all. Hello and welcome to Craig on Cars. Back in my first video, which I was driving oh dear. Right.